Hello, my friends. Welcome to this 20-minute deep stretch yoga for flexibility. This is something I like to do, especially when I am sore. So to begin, come right into downward facing dog, but definitely make this easeful. So knees bent, just kind of feeling into the backs of the legs, bending one knee and then the other. Just take your time here and just notice how the body is feeling in space. And then right away, drop the knees. So that was kind of our before picture. And let's ripple through some cat-cow. So inhaling, opening across the chest, and exhaling, gazing at the navel, making that Halloween cat shape, taking the sits bones back almost towards the heels. So this is how I like to do cat-cow when I'm sore and I'm really trying to feel into a lot of range of motion. Inhale, open across the chest, and I'm gonna even do some shoulder rolls here in this cow pose. So take a look at this. Just hold cow, micro bend the elbows, and let the shoulders slide up towards the ears and back down to the ears and back down. So it's all about being gentle while also going deep. Last one, and now back into our cat pose, round. Look at your navel, crown of head towards the floor. Let your sits bones come all the way almost back towards your heels. So you almost hit child's pose and then ripple through again. So you're stretching out the low back as you make this really slow, controlled descent in your cat pose. So make this a little bit your own option to do some more shoulder rolls here. You can close the eyes. And looking at the navel, taking the sits bones back towards the heels. Last one. Beautiful. Come to table pose at center. Widen the knees a little bit. Reach the right arm up to the sky and then thread it underneath the left. So we're coming into a super deep twist. Left hand is going to come to the outer edge of the mat. Press down into the left hand and find a super juicy twist. 3 deep breaths here. So whenever I'm sore or just want to baby myself, this is one of my favorite postures. And taking it with the knees a little bit extra wide, I feel like it helps me find like an even deeper twist. Press the left palm into the earth. And then come back up to center. We'll take it to the other side. Left arm yearns up. And exhale, thread it underneath. And right hand comes to the floor outside your mat, outside the face, elbow bent towards the ceiling, and find your twist. One more big breath. Beautiful. Come back to all fours. Let's just feel into the backs of the legs. So bring the knees directly underneath the hips, extend the right leg, and just bounce and press into the heel a little bit. Just awaken that right hamstring. Beautiful. And then inhale, lift the right leg up. Exhale, bring the knee towards your elbow. Good. Leg extends back. Knee towards elbow. So we're asking the hip to kind of do some motions that it doesn't normally do. Last one. Leg straight. Knee towards elbow, and then see if you can just set the foot down. You might need to grab it, pull it forward, and just sink into a lizard pose here. So you're just gonna let the hips drop down. This is a super juicy, deep inner thigh stretch. So put a smile on your face and rock side to side here. Kind of like we did in our cow pose. Optional, let your shoulders kind of slide up by your ears. And I find rocking side to side and like giving the shoulders permission to slink up kind of lets my hips feel like they're getting even heavier. So I'm being gentle while falling into this really deep inner groin stretch. Let's take this into the hamstrings. So shift your weight back onto the left shin and flex the right foot. So you can keep it kind of out on a diagonal. This is an angle I like to play with when I'm sore. And just feel into what's going on in your hamstrings. You can point the foot or flex it. Point and flex. So I'm not really trying to get the forehead to the knee or anything like that. I'm just kind of staying upright. And it's almost like by making some circles on the heel, I'm just feeling into what's going on in the back of this hamstring without pulling or forcing. Good. Let's bend the knee and come back into our lizard. Any little movements you want to do. And then option to take the left hand wide of the mat and reach the right hand high. Get the stretch a little deeper. Big circle with that right hand one more time. All right, back to all fours position. Your option to take a little cat-cow or just hold. Extend the left leg behind you, pressing into the back left heel. So just a couple little bounces here to feel into the hamstring. From the inner left thigh, lift the leg up. So pinky toes spin down. Bend the knee and kind of donkey kick it towards your elbow. And then send the leg straight. So if you have really tight hips, you know, it's like before we want to feel deeply into this area, this is kind of like flossing your hips, you know? We just kind of want to floss, see what's going on in there. And then taking the left foot to the outside of the mat, just set the foot down. However you need to get into this, you kind of just pull the left leg forward. Left toes are at a diagonal, heel on the mat, toes on the carpet or floor in your house, and then see you're letting your hips sink down. I like to stay up on my fingertips and rock side to side, letting the shoulders be involved. Slow down your exhalation. If you prefer to just hold and breathe into a juicy spot here, find stillness, that's perfectly okay too. I just find when my muscles are sore, rocking myself like a baby seems to really help that tension unwind and then ultimately helps me find an even deeper place in the stretch. Think of the hips being incredibly heavy, sinking down into the floor. Shifting back for our hamstring stretch. So the weight is now back on that right shin. Your choice, you can keep this left leg pointed or flexed. And just lowering the torso, lifting the heart, breathing into the hamstring stretch. And then option to kind of circle the ankle. So you're gonna see what feels best for you. And you know, when you find one of those juicy spots, feel free to stay still and breathe into it. Full, complete in-breath. Super slow out-breath. Rebend into this front knee. And take the right hand wide of the mat, left arm up to the ceiling, little twist, and then big circle with the left arm, 2 of them. Just make this juicy, feel good. Hands come down to the mat, step the left foot back, and your choice, little cat-cow, or come straight into child's pose. So just sinking the hips back, letting the forehead rest on the ground. Breathe into the low back. Relax the shoulders, bring the elbows as wide as the mat. Middle fingers touch. Slow everything down. Slither forward on your mat. So extend the arms and slither forward so you're lying on your belly. We're coming into Sphinx pose. Elbows underneath the shoulders. First, just feel into this position, broaden across the heart, and engage your abdominals and lift the kneecaps off the mat. 2 deep breaths here. So this is a heart opener, helping us feel into a gentle back bend, and then we're gonna take it into a super deep quad stretch. So invitation on how that works. Left forearm's gonna come across, reach the right arm up and hold the big toe side of the foot. And then it's kind of like you curl or swirl your fingers to face the same direction as the toes and press the heel down. Allow the quadricep, the right quadricep, to move to the right. It's naturally going to want to do that as it kind of flattens and widens. Kick the foot into the hand and the hand into the foot. Keep pressing into the left elbow so you have a nice long spine. Breathe and hold. Super deep quad stretch. Press the hand into the foot and the foot into the hand. Soften behind the eyes. Gently let this go when you're ready. And come back to Sphinx pose. Elbows under, shoulders, and just notice the difference between the two sides. Deep breath in and out. Right forearm comes parallel to the front of the mat. Left arm reaches up and over and hold the big toe side of the back foot. Press the foot into the hand into the foot. Spin the fingertips so they're pointing the same direction as the toes. Allow the left thigh to move to the left on your mat as it flattens and widens. Press into the right elbow. Keep yourself tall. And breathe. One more big stretch. Big breath. Good. Gently release the left foot. Coming into your Sphinx pose again. Elbows under shoulders. Neutralizing breath. Take the palms underneath the shoulders. Press yourself back up to an all fours position. And then in this all fours position, just let your booty fall to the left all the way till it hits the floor. Come back to center and then all the way to the right. And again, allow the shoulder to slide up by the ear like we have been. A few more times like this. So you're just feeling into the side body, the outer hips. And then come to center and press back into downward facing dog. This is a great point. We're a little more than midway through the practice. Notice if your down dog feels a little more easeful than when we were here right at the start. That was sort of our before picture. Then one knee and then the other. Slow your breathing down. Just sensing if these deep lizard, quad, hamstring stretches are starting to help the body find a little more coherence, a little less soreness. Good. Drop the knees down to the ground. Shift your hips over to the left and lengthen the legs in front of you. Transitioning carefully to lie down on our back. So I like to come down onto one forearm and then the other. Lots of care in these transitions. And we're going to take the figure 4 stretch, which is one of my favorites for when I'm sore. So left ankle over the right. This may be enough of a stretch right here. Otherwise, pull the thigh, the right thigh, into the chest.
keep the left leg really flexed, left foot really flexed, and make sure the ankle is really overhanging the knee. So I see a lot of students kind of like with the foot sickled, like on the knee. That's not what we want. We want the ankle all the way over the knee. So pull into the chest. I'll turn around so you can also see it from this side. And ideally you're feeling a really juicy stretch on the outer left hip. Now here's how we make it extra deep. I want you to tip towards the right. So the left sit bone is gonna come off the mat just a touch. If you see on the screen, you'll see how that's happening for me. And you don't want it too much, then you'll lose the stretch, but just hovering that sit bone off while pulling the knee into the chest. I find that gets it really deep, really juicy. And breathe here. Option to straighten the right leg, totally optional. Option to circle the ankle if you have the leg straight. We're staying gentle, but going extra deep. So just play, see what's gonna work for you. If you have the leg straight, re-bend. And a little unusual here, I want you to keep this figure 4, but actually slide the left knee now so it's over the right. So your knees are nestled into one another with the left knee closest to you. And now hold the outer ankles and pull the ankles towards your armpits. Feet are flexed, toes are yearning towards the ceiling. So if you don't feel anything, lift your heels away from your seat and your toes towards the sky. And then pull like crazy down on your ankles. And you're gonna feel the outer hips of both legs really light up and turn on. And then an option to rock a little side to side here if you like. One more deep breath. And let this go. Let's take it on the other side. So just windshield wiper the legs left to right. Good, and now this time right ankle over left knee. If this is enough, just stay here. Otherwise, pulling the thigh into the chest, looking for a stretch on the outer right hip. Remember, the right foot is flexed, overhanging this thigh. So take a look at the screen here and make sure that your foot's not sickled over here. You're not gonna get as good as hip stretch, and we're going for extra deep today. So really have that foot nice and flexed. Deepen the breath. Option to tilt and tip towards the left. So the right seat is a little bit hovering, leaving off the mat. Slow your breathing down. If you did it on the other side, straighten the left leg, circles with the foot, rolling out the ankle. Rebend the knee. Knees nestle into one another now, so right knee on top of left. Once again, pulling the ankles, same stretch we did just on the other side. So it's like you want to pull your heels down into your armpit, keep both feet extremely flexed. Lengthen the tailbone down towards your mat. One more huge deep breath here. Unwind the legs. Take the feet as wide as the mat, knees dip into touch. Deep breath in and out. Shift up onto your forearms. Really gentle, transitioning up to a comfortable seat for our final stretch together. Option 1, butterfly pose. Soles of the feet touch. And you can just fold forward, or if you've been practicing yoga a long time and you really want that big hamstring and inner groin stretch, you can take Upavishta Konasana with the legs totally out wide. If this is causing you to round in your low back, just take butterfly pose like I'm going to instead and fold forward. So your choice, Baddha Konasana or Upavishta Konasana. And just slow down your breath.
Wherever you are, breathe into the lower back, the hips. Extending the exhalations. Sits bones heavy. One more deep breath. Turn the palms face down. Gently press yourself up. Come back to a cross-legged seat. Closing your practice, hands at prayer at heart center. Exhale fully. Inhale deeply. Just taking a moment to honor yourself for making this time to come to the mat, for your dedication, your willingness to connect with your body, and come back to this practice often to increase your flexibility. I hope to see you here on the mat again really soon. From my heart to yours, namaste. Namaste.